Oh, that song's gonna be in my head all day. Oh, hey, my one viewer, how are you? Today I'm going to be sharing how I apply a hair unit for my hair loss client. Hair replacement is one of the services that I offer as a trichologist. A trichologist is a hair and scalp specialist, and I help people reverse their hair loss, men and women. But not only do I help them reverse their hair loss, I also give hair replacement options. I do S&P services. Some of you might have been on my live before. And watch me do an S&P service for my clients. So she would be a good person to receive S&P if that's the option that she wants to go to, but she wants to keep her sides, and so I'm just going to add a unit to the top, and it's just going to blend with her natural hair, and I'll let you guys see the entire process. Just let me find a good angle. And I'm in the process of relocating, so if you see a lot going on in the background, mind your business. Okay. So I'm gonna let you guys see the unit. So the type of unit that my client has is all natural. I'm not gonna tell you guys where I get my units from, but you are able to get purchase some from off of Amazon. And the one that she has poly around the edges, and then there's a little bit of lace right there. You can get a combination of the two, or you can just get all lace or all poly. It's really just a preference, honestly, because I think either are going to look natural once you lay it on top of the client's hair. So the first thing that I want to do is just make sure, because I just took a unit off, I just want to make sure that this area is really clean. So I'm just going to grab some alcohol and clean off any excess glue that might still be on there. Oh, here we go. So do you guys have any questions, or does anybody in here wear any units? Cranial prosthesis is what the technical term for it is called. If you are someone that wears a cranial prosthesis, you can actually have your insurance cover it for you. You'll just give them your trichologist or your stylist information. Your stylist has to have an NPI number, which is a national provider's number. And with that, they'll be able to bill your insurance for a cranial prosthesis. But you have to make sure that your insurance covers it first. And the way that you'll know that is if you've ever seen a dermatologist for hair loss, then your insurance covers it. Yeah, sometimes they also allow you to get medical wigs too. I don't know if I'm going to invite anybody right now. Just ask your questions in the comment, and then I'll see if I'll add you. I just haven't had any good luck with adding people on here so far, so I just want to be very cautious with adding people for the moment. Okay, so as you can see, I just cleaned off the top area, and there's just like a little bit of hair right here, so I'm just going to take my liners and just clean that part off. And this is honestly like a really quick process. I love doing this service just because it's not that time consuming. The most time you probably take with, like, if your client needs color or if they need a haircut. And then also just like the adhesive drying, that takes a little bit of time. But honestly, once you put the unit on, it's basically, that's the style. You just have to trim it up a little bit. I'm located in Houston, Texas. I'm currently in St. Louis, but I'll be taking appointments in Houston really soon. So I'm just taking any excess. Now, most of the times you'll see people like have all this completely gone, but I'm leaving this for my client. That way she can have something to just like cover up where the unit lays, and it just gives like a natural hairline. I like that option better because it just obviously is. Okay, hey, Cuts by Grip. Yeah, I'm leaving St. Louis. I've been here long enough. I'm taking my talents elsewhere. But I love it here. You know, it's always going to be home. St. Louis showed a lot of love. Yeah, so she has total hair loss. Okay, I want to make sure that I don't miss anybody's questions. So B Sunshine, I'm shaving it off because there's just a little growth right here. This has permanent hair loss, but she has growth around here, as you can see. Like it just, her hair loss is almost like a perfect circle. So I believe the type of hair loss that she might have is cicatricial just because it's like circular, but I haven't done an official scalp analysis on her to be sure. But I'm sure that it's permanent. I haven't noticed any new hairs grow in right here since I've been doing the units for her. So just to give it like a clean circular, just so it matches the unit, I take the clippers and then I just like clean it up a little bit just so it fits perfectly today. You see? And then that way we don't have like any area that has hair or see, so it's perfect. Actually, that is really perfect. So I'm just gonna lay on top. I know it doesn't look great now, but once I lay it and then I add a little product to it and cut it, you'll see the complete look. I'm gonna let you guys see the entire process from beginning to end. And so now that I've cleaned this area off, you want to make sure that this area is completely clean. I already did that with alcohol pads, and now I'm going to go in with like 2 different types of glues. I use Walker's tape, which is really good, but then I also like to use the goat glue. I think the goat glue might be a little bit more effective than the Walker's tape, so I just put them both together just so it's a stronger adhesive. Well, because she doesn't have hair right here, her hair isn't gonna grow and push it up. But if she was someone that had just like a small spot and we had to shave off all the excess hair, then yes, the hair would grow up under the unit, but that's not gonna happen. So we'll be in. Okay, Bingo, are you gonna be permanently in Houston? And Cuts by Grip, are you relocated to Dallas? I was just in Dallas this past weekend, by the way. I didn't love it. I was considering moving there, but I don't know. It just seemed very dry there. Very suburban. And not that I'm a partier, but I just like to fall into something every now and then. And so many people in Dallas kept saying, you got to find the black people. I'm like, why do you have to find black people? Why we just can't go outside? So yeah, Queens is basically a toupee, and it stays maybe 2 to 3 months is the average time. But Miss Coco, on average, how long would you say your unit lasts for you? So she says hers lasts almost 4 months. So this is like the first coating. You saw it was really no rhyme or reason on how I put it on there. I just applied it, and now I'm just like stretching it, making sure that it covers all of her area where I'm going to put the unit. And then I'm going to let this dry just for a little bit, and then I'm going to apply a second coat. So the first coat was the Walker's tape, and then the second coat is going to be the Deneen Define Goat Glue. This stuff works really well. I used to use Ghost Glue Cuts by Gip, but to me it just seemed like it didn't really hold that well. And then I didn't like that you had to put like so many layers on there, like the 7-layer thing. To me it's just a time waster. And with this you only have to apply it twice, and it holds for a long time. She can wash her hair and wet it as normal, but you also have to keep in mind that this is a cranial prosthesis. This is a temporary hair replacement solution. So although you want to treat it like it's your natural hair, you still want to make sure that you're not over shampooing, over like combing or anything like that, because it is only been, adhered with glue. So if you're washing it too much or if you're pulling on it too much, then yeah, you're gonna loosen it up sooner than it needs to come up. But you can swim in it. You can shampoo your hair. I just wouldn't recommend like shampooing your hair every week if that's something that you're used to, because you'll eventually loosen up the adhesive. Hey, what's up, ATL? Live in Garland. Do you like it in Garland? I didn't know where to go in Dallas, honestly. I was thinking about moving to Oak Cliff, but everybody kept saying that's the hood. So I don't know. I liked the area because they had Bishop Arts near there, and I liked the vibe of that area. But I've only been to Dallas 3 times, so I don't really know what all Dallas has to offer. Thank you. Let's see. Oh, that's concealed. You could have kept that comment to yourself. Don, I can't even say your name. Good. Yes. Yes, I am taking appointments in Houston. My calendar is open for June. And you can go ahead and book your appointment if you're in the Houston area. I am going to have a new booking site that's being developed, and I'm going to have it up by the end of May. So that way you can, if you are someone who is experiencing hair loss, I do S&P services, I do hair replacement services, I do hair loss treatments, I have my own product line to help reverse hair loss. I also help people who have dermatitis and stuff. Yes, both men and women. Um, yeah, I use this glue on both lace front wigs too, and for the hair units. I really love this one. I've used this on lace wigs a few times, and I promise you, the people were calling me and saying, "How can I take this wig off my head because it's not budging?" And that's what I want people to call me and say when I like use any type of adhesive, whether it be like a wig or a hair replacement unit. This stuff right here, I love it. Thank you, thank you. Show toes. Who toes? Definitely don't want to show my toes. Y'all definitely don't want to see my toes. Okay, I think so. Before you add the second application, the second, um, the second, I don't even know why I can't say it. But before you add the second top of glue or place the glue on there, you just want to make sure like it's really like tacky. You see how tacky that is. So that's a good place to be when adding the second coat. That's what I want to say. Why didn't that come up in my mind? So now I'm adding the second coat, and I'm using the goat glue for the second coat of glue. And I'm going to do the same thing that I did with the first one, and then I'm just going to let this sit for maybe another 5 to 7 minutes. And then I'm going to lay the unit down. And that's really all you need. You only need like 2 coats of glue. So if you're just using this by itself, you'll use 2. If you're using this by itself, you'll use 2. But I use them together, so I use one of this and one of this. So she has 2 coats, one of each adhesive is what I used. And according to my client, her units last for 4 months. She keeps them on for a complete 4 months, and that was only using this glue. So I'm interested to see how long it'll last with both of them. The small bottle is called Goat Glue by Deneen Define. She's on Instagram. I'm sure she's on TikTok too. I've seen her on here. I think I'm following her on here as well. Because you want to make sure that it's tacky before you apply the unit. And then also you want to make sure it's tacky before you apply the second coat of glue. Because if you apply it on while it's wet, it's going to be really gooey, and then it's not going to dry evenly. It might cause bubbles. So you just want to make sure that you have that tackiness before applying the second coat, and then also before applying the hair replacement. Don, you are not funny. I'm sorry. I don't I don't know why you this bored and you're just looking for attention in the comments, but I mean, at least say something that's going to be entertaining, and that's not. Yeah, this is wig glue. You can use them both for wig glue, but I mainly use this one for my cranial prosthesis, which is just a hair replacement. This is a really, really good hold. And then I also use this one as well. This is really good for cranial prosthesis, but a lot of people use this for wigs. And if you use this on your wig, you can go swimming, you can take a shower, it's not coming off. So I decided that I was going to use both of them today for my hair replacement service that I'm doing on my client. Again, she says that her hair replacement lasts for about 4 months. And it lasts 4 months with just using the walker's tape, which is this. You want to take a screenshot? Okay, here. This is walker's tape. This is the one that I normally use by itself. 2 coats. And my client says her unit lasts up to 4 months. Today, I'm adding the goat glue with the walker's tape. So I did the walker's tape for the first coat, and then I'm doing this one for the second coat. Well, Jeff, I'm in Houston if you need your moonroof covered. I don't cut hair. I'm not a barber. I can't say that I'm going to give you a nice fade afterwards, but I could definitely apply your unit, and then you can go to a barber and have the barber hook you up with a fade and a lining. I can line, but I don't know if it'll be barber standard. Do you have dye for men's? I do colors men's hair, yes. So for those of you who are just joining, I am Cree. I'm a trichologist. And part of what I do as a trichologist is I help men and women reverse their hair loss. And then I also do S&P services, and I do hair replacement services. And I just offer people who have hair loss solutions for their hair loss. And this being one of them. So again, here to apply it. Put in the comments why you guys to join me on the live, and then I'll consider adding you, because I don't want you on here wasting my time just saying some crazy stuff, because I know how some people on TikTok can be. So if you are in the hair industry, or if you do hair replacements, you have some tips or something like that, let me know in the comments, and then I will gladly add you. Yeah, so if you follow me on Instagram, I have a lot of my work on Instagram. I know they be so bored. I have a lot of my work on Instagram, and you can see, you know, the results of my S&P services, the result of my hair loss treatment services, and just everything that I offer in regards to hair loss. Okay, so I think, oh yeah, that's good and tacky. So what I'm getting ready to do is add the unit. I'm just going to try to keep it on the side. So when applying the unit, the best way to do it is you want to hold it like this, because it's going to give you a good grip. And normally I lay this part down first. So I'm going to lay this part right here. And then I'm just going to press and add as much tension as possible, slowly pulling it back, slowly, you know, applying the base of the unit to her hair where the adhesive is. So I'm going to go ahead and lay down the first little piece. And then you guys are gonna see like I'm slowly just tightly pulling it back. That way it's on there good and tight. And honestly, it goes a lot quicker than this, but just for the sake of you guys following me and me explaining it, I'm just really taking my time. But if you're a hairstylist in here and you have clients with hair loss and you are not offering this service, I want to encourage you that you definitely need to offer this to your clients, because a quick weave is not going to cut it all the time. You have to offer them something that's going to last a long time. Okay, and then after I lay it, I just go in and I massage it, and I just make sure that it's laying really flat and firm, making sure there's no bubbles, no ridges or anything, and just making sure it stays adhered to the groove. Now I know you guys see this part hanging right here, so this is excess, and it's really only one way to deal with the excess of the unit, and that's just to cut it. Normally I would cut it with a razor blade, but I don't have a razor blade right now, so I'm just going to use my shears to cut it. Yeah, so if you are just getting into wigs, and you want something natural, especially if you have permanent. So this is really ideal for people who have that permanent loss where there's just like no hair growing right there. Like this is, you can, I don't get my units from, we got this unit from Amazon, but I don't get my units from Amazon, but they have some good quality units on Amazon. And there's also a lot of vendors that you can find on Alibaba that have some really good units in stock. But yeah, they have them on Amazon, especially if you're somebody that's, you're trying to do this on yourself. Amazon has them. And yes, she can swim with this. So I'm just going to cut off the excess and then let you guys see the finished look. But I think this is the one. So the unit that I had for her before we put this one on, she was not happy with it. It was giving, I don't know, mixed textured hair. It said it was like human hair, but after the second application, it just was not doing what we wanted it to do. And I think this texture is a lot better. Yeah, so if you're doing this on yourself, definitely go to Amazon and just search hair units. And you'll have a lot of different ones that came up. This one came from off of Amazon. Let me twist y'all around real quick because there we go. Okay, so I'm going to cut the excess off the back. As you can see, this is what's left from where the adhesive wasn't, and then she had hair right there. So I'm just going to take my shears and cut this part off, and then I'm going to cut the sides to blend with her. And then I like how the texture matches her texture. She has a nice soft texture, and then this is a soft curly texture. And once I comb it through and enhance the curls, it'll blend really well. So I'm just going. Rissa, do you have a razor blade? Okay, so I'm going to use the razor blade because I think that's more effective than the shears. Okay, so straight razor. You're going to go in with a straight razor and then cut that. So that's what I'm getting ready to do. And it's just going to be a lot flatter than... It's going to be a lot flatter than if I would have used shears. And it's a cleaner cut, easier cut using a razor blade over shears. And look at all that excess that's left. Okay, so the hard part is over. Now I'm just gonna use a comb to comb through. Hey, hair talk. Let me. I keep trying to invite you. I don't know why it gets like this. When you was applying, it looked like it was tight to put on. Well, it's not tight, but you want to put it on firmly. You want to firmly lay it down, so that it adheres really good. I'm trying to invite you here, talk. I don't know why it's not allowing you to join. Oh, thank you. Good already. So the gaps that's right here, this hair is gonna like come over that, so it's not gonna be
Hello.
added. Hey, I don't know why we can't do screen to screen.
I have no idea. How you
Yeah,
doing?
nobody does that. Do you do hair replacements for your clients?
No, normally they normally just use like glueless wigs. That's normally
Oh, okay.
when I do like glueless wigs, for the replacement. But
Yeah,
I
so
was just watching.
my client here,
Uh,
she has permanent hair loss at the crown. And so, like, she's a good person or a good candidate for a hair replacement. And so
hmm
sometimes people they want something that's going to stay on their head and last a really long time, and they don't have to worry about too much maintenance. A quick weave can give them this sort of look, but the quick weave would not give them the ability to like shampoo their hair, to swim. You know, they won't have scalp, so none of that you can do with a quick weave. So I love giving the option of a hair unit for my permanent hair loss clients. So me, like in
Yeah,
my field of trichology, like I just like to give people a lot of different options for hair loss because sometimes people that come in, we can't necessarily give them something that will regrow their hair because of the permanent hair loss.
correct.
So I just like to make sure that no matter what type of hair loss they're experiencing, that I can offer them something and they leave with some sort of solution.
That makes sense. I was watching you do it. It looks nice. It looks
Oh,
nice
really? Thank
already.
you. Thank
You're
you.
welcome.
So this is just really like the basic. Um, oh shit! I think I cut myself, y'all.
Be careful.
I did, but this is just like the basic style of it. Like most people, they'll get something, curly. They want to wear their hair natural. They'll get like a look, like easy for them to maintain, and then they don't have to worry about styling it at all. They can just put like some product on it and
hmm
just be done with it. And that's basically what we're gonna do for her.
Okay. So so they curl right on back up.
Uh-huh. Once you see me put product on it, it's gonna look a lot more natural.
hmm
Um, a lot of times I like, hold on, y'all. I cut myself on. Give me 1 second. If you guys have questions, you want to answer some questions for them about, if you want to ask Miss Coco some questions. Never mind.
She said, "Don't do it." Look.
I'm sorry. I was gonna say if you have some questions for her, ask her while I put a band-aid on my ring. But she said I'm showing out, so that's a no. She doesn't want to answer any questions, but you can ask me. I'm gonna come back and I'll answer them for you. Well, okay, I'm back. Um, I'm in Houston, Texas. I'm accepting appointments in Houston beginning in June. My calendar is already open. Oh,
Oh, you
somebody
made
know
your.
you. Somebody like Miss Coco. We family over here.
What?
She say, "Who are
Who?
you? Identify yourself." I'm sorry, y'all. I cut myself and I don't have any band-aids, so oh, okay. That was the first. Oh, oh my God. The first aid kit been right here this whole time. Some ceiling debris on here. Sorry, guys. Here I come. Here I come. Hair talk. I gotta tell you something.
What's that?
You listening?
I am.
So you have been motivating me. I see you do not let up with your posting. And I just really be
Yes.
overthinking my content. I don't really be in the mood. And I'm like, I'm not gonna post anything. But that is so like motivating to see you on there every day with your lives and stuff.
Thank you. Thank you. Definitely. Come on. We can do us some lives together. Like, come on.
Oh,
Gotta
I'm
get
with
on
it.
in there, sis. Come.
I'm with it. I just gotta get my routine. And I'm in the process of moving and I need to organize. I need to organize and I need to plan what I post. And I
Mm-hmm.
think everything will be a lot, it'll just make more sense because sometimes I'm a
Yeah.
little random. Yes, this is a wig. This is a braided wig. I had a bunch of braided wigs up
That's
there, but I
cute.
took them down. But
That's
this one I
cute.
got from Africa. It's a frontal wig. See,
Oh, I like that.
so I just throw this on. I don't know when I'm feeling like summer vibes. I feel like the blonde pixie is. I don't know. I like it. It's
Yeah, that's
giving
pretty.
summertime fine.
And I love the color on you. It's pretty.
Thank you. No problem. So, Miss Coco, they said thank you for sharing this experience. Miss Coco is always open to allow me to go live, but she said just don't. She's not trying to ask nobody questions out here.
Oh,
And so the
that's
rest of it is just
cute.
like going by. I don't know how you feel, how much volume does she want, how short does she want it. I really just kind of like cut the excess little stringy ends off, and then I go in like with some product. But here, I'm gonna let you
It
guys
looks
see like
nice.
how natural the scalp looks. I don't know if you can you see that. Hold on, let me get you a little
Mm-hmm.
closer.
Oh, yeah, that looks good.
Hello. Can y'all see that?
Yeah, that looks good. I see you say you're doing so you made your transition already. You already moved on over to Houston. That's where you were going in the beginning, right?
No, 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 no. My kids, they don't get out of school until the 25th of this month. So the plan is as
Okay.
soon as they're out of school, then hit the road to Houston. I was considering Dallas, but I don't know. Dallas just does not feel like my type of vibe. I think it'll be a good place to like
Okay.
focus, solely on business, but I have no real issue with focusing. I know what I want to do. Sometimes I just need to plan and better manage my
Mm-hmm.
time. But Dallas is a cool place. I just don't think I would have a good time living there. There's a lot of
Okay.
people doing really well in Dallas, but I like Houston because it's near water. The people are really cool. The people are
Mm-hmm.
cool in Dallas too, but um, the people are really laid back, friendly, from my experience in Houston in
Okay.
comparison to Dallas. And I know
Okay.
that's just
Okay.
not me. I've heard that said on, people that have done Houston versus Dallas. I've seen it in the comment section. So I'm glad to know that that just was not me feeling like that. That's something. This said lotion. Okay, good. Yes, I'm moving, Shea Butter K. Did you send a list of stylists on STL who are? Yes, I did. If you are a current stylist of mine, I don't know how you got kicked off. When you recommend bleaching knots. Okay, I don't bleach. You don't bleach anything because the base of this is usually going to be poly. I mean, you could if it's lace, but I wouldn't. It's not. It's not needed. I mean, of course, like if you're doing like a frontal or something like that, you definitely want to bleach the knots on that, but not for the hair units. But like I said, they do come like complete lace, so you could have at it, but I've never done it. And see, this is the reason why I leave the front out, because she wants to have like a natural look. And then if the wind blows, so the worst part about some units to me is you outside, the wind blowing, and then you really have no natural hairline. You know, it just exposes the whole unit. I've never been to Charlotte. I considered Charlotte at one point in time, but I don't know if I would love it there. So I'm just cutting off like the excess hair and making sure it's like even on the sides. And I know you guys probably see that spacing, but um, the hair is going to cover that up. And because it's a natural texture and her hair is natural, like you won't see any of that. Hmm? No, I'm talking now. How long did it take to do that? I just invited you again here, talk. So units like this, they can last, as far as her leaving it in, it lasts a good 4 months. But she can reuse this maybe up to 2 to 3 times. But if you're someone who wears cranial prosthesis, yeah, she said almost a year. Y'all hear her? So if you're someone that wears a cranial prosthesis, it is a good idea to have two, just so you can have one that's being cleaned, and you can wear the other one, because it is like it's a lot of work cleaning these units because the adhesive is on there so tightly. Once you remove it, thank you. I'm moving to Houston, but the adhesive is on there so good, and you just have to soak it and make sure that you do a good job removing it. And sometimes that can take too much time, so you don't want to have to use that same unit. So you might want to have your client have an additional unit so that you can clean that one for their next visit. It's giving Jerry. Not a nice little Jerry. And I think this is the texture that you wanted, because last time, last time the curls wasn't as curly as this. And so once this dries, this gives like a really nice curly fro type of soft curl, almost similar to like how this is, but it's like once you set it and you put some adhesive, it just enhances the curl a lot better. And that's what you want. I'm gonna turn this over so she can. Is this the texture? And I think your size might have been a little bit longer last time too. But once it grows out, it's still. But yeah, I like this. I like this texture. So usually when they come in to remove it, I just shampoo it out. There's really no specific type of product that I have to use to remove it. It just comes off really easy because within 4 months, it's already lifting in some areas. So it's really simple to remove. And then again, I just removed her old unit and I just shampooed it and just spit it out and it'll eventually come up. And so I'm done, guys. Thanks for dropping in here and taking a look at the process of a cranial prosthesis. I'll try to come back on here as often as I can to share a lot of the different services that I provide as a trichologist and a hair loss specialist. So I'm going to give you guys a minute if you have any more questions. If not, I'm going to go ahead and end the live. Okay, Ms. Coco.
Thank you, Clay.
You're welcome. Right, let me know how you're feeling about this one, but I think that's the one.
You know I am.
Okay.
Have a good day.
All right, you too. Bye. Thank you.